Hey guys, so if you guys are thinking about modifying your Echo 590 muffler, just go with the regular, have a video on it. It's just the hole. You just do the hole. Don't try to take it apart and gut it, because the way they made this thing, it's almost impossible to cut it in half. The reason I tried to do it in half is because the way the tube goes, if you just cut the front or cut it in the middle, you're going to be fighting it on either side. So I tried to go through the middle, and it does not work. So the failure we learn, and I try to help you guys know, don't waste your time doing that. But what's cool is I'm just going to attempt to make a new muffler, aka a pipe. There's a couple of pipe styles that I saw. It's not my original design, so I'm not going to take credit, but I am going to attempt to build something cool. But anyway, what I have is I have this, but I have this piece here. So this is from the edger blade, but it's not aluminum or stainless steel or anything like that. It's just regular, I don't know what kind of steel, but I'm pretty sure it'll have enough meat on it to make, yeah, see? It has enough meat to make a new thing. I could reuse this and cut that off and reuse it, which I may, because I think it still will fit. I'll just have to mess with it. I may try that. Yeah, that still fits, so I just have to weld it and then cut it. So that may work, but the problem is there's these bolt holes, which I'm not going to have to use those anymore. So I'll just get shorter bolts. So I'll probably just stick with this. So that's my first step here. That's what I got so far. Just roughly cut. Getting ready for the old weld. But I got some stuff to do before all that. So then I'm gonna use this. Basically just junk. But I'm gonna cut it up and make a pipe. So I'll update you once I'm done with that. All right, so we're making a failure into a non-failure. So I cut this. This is crap junk now. And then this is what I'm working with. So I'm thinking something like I got this piece, which is gonna be the manifold, like the, what is it called? I forgot what it's called, but that's gonna be where it meets to the chainsaw. And then say I got that piece. Excuse me, that'll go right there. Something like that. Probably angle it this way, more like that. So it won't be perfectly straight up and down. And then this piece will go on top, but I'm going to cut this out right here and let it make a little adjustment, and then I may try to bend this pipe. These are pretty thin, so this is just a test pipe. I'm gonna call it a test pipe, and then that'll go something like that. All right, and then these, I gotta figure out how I want to do it. I already cut them to try to finagle them, but I'm gonna make them something like that. So I'm sure people have seen these before. And this is just me making it out of scrap, you know, for kicks and giggles, because I was gonna modify this muffler, but turned out a failure. So I'm making it a positive, guys. Trying to turn it around. I got some tweaking, and I may change some stuff around. And then I also have some other scrap I may be able to use too. This is I'm not a professional welder. I'm not anything great at welding, so it's just gonna be a hodgepodge. But I would like to get a TIG welder and actually learn to do that. Actually make it like a decent pipe, you know. It looks pretty cool when you TIG weld stuff. But I'm gonna see how it goes. And unfortunately, I cut up my muffler, so now I can't use the old 590 until I make this. So this is what I got going on. So I got it all marked out. I'm going to drill it, and maybe, I don't know if my Dremel's gonna work in there, you know, once I drill it out to do the shape, but I'm gonna give it a try. And then after that, I will check back in, because I don't know. I'm just winging it, guys. I have no real great design here. It's looking pretty good. Just gotta hog this out even more here. Might have to use a different bit. Basically, I don't have the proper tool, so I'm drilling out what I can. So I took the largest bit and made the biggest hole that I can, which I may have, I need to check if I have a bigger bit. Yeah, I have a bigger bit, but I think it may be a wood bit, but nope, same bit. Alright, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a smaller one. I'm just making sure I don't go over. Alright, it's not working great, guys. And I really don't want to file that out. I'm gonna pause you and I'll come back. But this is what I got so far. Not great. Alright guys, that's what I'm working with now. I re-outlined it. But you can see where I scribed it. So it's not like a perfect outline. But what I'm gonna do, that's just a guide. So when I used a step bit. So when I was using that, it's kind of like a guide, like, hey, don't really touch that black. And I just touched it, but I didn't come past where there's a scribe line, if you can barely see it. I didn't hit the scribe line because I scribed it off of this. Oops, sorry. Scribed it off of this. So I don't want to go past that. And then I'll try to match it the best I can too. So that's where I'm at. I'm gonna do the rest with a file real quick and see if that works. All right guys, I got my Dremel. I don't have a die grinder bit. What I have is I don't even know, it's like a grinder bit. But I really need a die grinder bit to do it proper. But we're learning, guys. All right, guys, I got the rough. Let's see, focus. All right, I got the rough. Basically, it's all there. There's a couple areas. Let's zoom in. Get my light for you. There's a couple areas. Sorry, it's a little grainy. There's a couple areas that I need to finesse, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna drill these, have two little holes here. Boom and boom. This thing's hot, so be careful. So I'm gonna drill those and then I'm gonna flip it over and then I'm going to see how it looks compared to this on the other side and then re-mark it and then kind of go from there. And then this, I'm gonna put this, I'm gonna have to make some type of gasket. I guess I could reuse this. But I think this is just, I don't know. I might reuse it. It looks just like silicone or something, but it needs redone a little bit. But I might do that. And I want to make sure that it matches on the cylinder, on the jug or whatever. That way, you know, it's not, I'll give you the example. So if this hole is too small, see? Sorry, I'm all over the place. If this hole is too small, then it's gonna be choking. So you want it to match. So that's what my goal is. And then I'll probably do that and then start on doing some pipe stuff off the old weed eater pipe. So catch back with you. I punched the hole, punched it so it was pretty much center, and I used a smaller drill bit, and then I used this one, which is, I don't even know, let me tell you, 7/32. And then just to give you an idea, this file is a 3/16. So that's what I kind of, sorry, I'm all over the place, guys. I'm doing horrible. I'm looking where I'm looking instead of looking at the camera. But yeah, so that gives you an idea how much wiggle room I'm estimating I'm gonna need. And then it is flipped over from where it was, and then I put the bolts inside the gasket. So then I can put the little, it's like the gasket heat shield thing, whatever. So then I can see how much room, see how much play is there. But then I held it where it wants to sit naturally, and then I scribed this on the other side. So now I'm going to fine tune it, and I got to look on the saw to make sure how this fits up. That way I know which side is top and bottom. Because I think it goes on only one way, but I could be wrong. Let's see. Sorry, I'm looking at the camera. Okay, it won't matter then, never mind. But there you go. But when I build the pipe, say I'm doing the pipe, I want to make sure, you know, if I angle this up or have it going a certain way, I'm thinking something like that. With that, like that, and then I'll join the pipe, and then I'll have two little pea shooters. Something like that. So that's what I got so far. And sorry, I'm not showing a lot. It's just kind of hard to film, and the lighting in here is horrible. So I'm kind of showing you as I chip along the process. So thanks for bearing with me. This is what I'm working with. So I tested this fits, but I am not going to weld this piece to this yet, because my original thought is I could do this because it's kind of on an angle and that would work. But I'm not gonna do that because I have to bend this piece or cut it even more to angle. So I have to fit it. So I'm gonna make this how I like it first, and then I'm going to adjust there. I'm probably gonna bend it, and the reason why I bend is because look. So if you look at it, if I make this pipe, I'm not gonna be able to get I don't have T, I just have Torx, you know, regular handle. I don't have the T ones yet. But I'm not gonna be able to get a tool in there, and I don't have Allen, you know, like the you know, the hook, the candy cane style, or whatever you want to call them. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to do this. So if you look at it, I'm going to tilt it up so I can get to the bolts. So then I'm just going to have to angle it more right there. So that'll be the solution. But I'm going to do that last so I can get it where I want it. But as of now, this is what I'm working with. I got them all kind of prepped for welding, And then this one, I kind of made a funny shape. And the reason is because I'm going to weld this piece flat. So I'm not going to have two openings. I've seen that a lot, and that's what I originally was going to do. But I'm going to block this off and just see how it is with it blocked off. And if I don't like it, I can always change it later. But in that case, then I'm gonna run a longer, let's see, how does it fit? There. I'm gonna run it about like that. Not to this length, you know? Oops. Low battery popped up. Not to this length. So I'm going to leave it this length and then cut it to fit. So I'll show you kind of what I'm thinking here. All right, so I threw some quick tape on it, the old tape job, and then I cut this out. I try to get it as close as possible so I'm not, you know, spattering with my welder. But it fits pretty good. You gotta kind of finagle it. But I did it the best I could. But I'm gonna weld this, and then I'm gonna go in and grind the inside so it's flush before I weld this pipe. So it's a lot of like little tedious things. I almost want to try to just make it out of, I have like some, what's it called? Like an old dryer scrap that I have. It's like the paneling, basically, you know, flat metal. And it's almost, I almost just want to try to get a flat piece and just bend it and make like a, almost like this, like a regular canister style with like a bigger opening. Because I mean, that seems to work. Some people think it makes noise and it doesn't work. Some people think these, you know, the 2-outlet pea shooter doesn't work and all this kind of stuff. But mainly the purpose of it is to keep a little bit of back pressure, or that's what I call it because I'm coming from cars, but whatever, I think two-stroke, they call it sonic wave or all this kind of stuff. But basically to keep some of that back, whatever, in the exhaust chamber or can or whatever. And then the reason is because if you just have a straight pipe, you end up losing power for some reason. I don't know, but I think it's because, you know, the exhaust recirculates back into it, into the engine, so that helps it from what I've researched. So that's what I've been doing, and then I'll show you kind of what I'm working with here. Got the old roller. So here, so that's if it's flat, right? So I need to make it go either up, which then this hits, so then that's not gonna work, or I need to make it go down. So I'll probably make it go down like that, and then that way I can have the pipe come out. And then this is far enough, this side is far enough away so I'm not gonna bang it on anything. So that's kind of what I'm working with. So I might angle it down and then this way, so then I can get to the bolts. That's the main thing. And then I'll cut this pipe to fit. That way everything still works. Or I might leave it long for a little bit and, you know, pipe it up. All right, guys, I don't have a really nice welder. I just have a flux core welder, but it does the job, but it's not great. But that's what I'm going for right here. And you can see I haven't welded in a long time. So you can check out my scab welds. This is also, I welded here. Here, let me put this down. I welded right here first because I had to dial in my machine. So that's the first. Looks horrible, I gotta grind it out. But then as I get going, blew through a couple spots, but as I'm getting going, like see this next pipe, It's getting better. And you can't really, or excuse me, I can't really keep a consistent, like I can't weld it completely all at once because it just wants to blow through. But you can see right there where my, right here, that was a hole. So you can see it's working. It's doing what I need to. And does it have a hole still? Nope. Okay, yeah. It's doing what I needed to do. It's just not looking pretty. So that's what a grinder's for when you're a scab welder. Now, if this was thicker, it's way easier to weld. This is almost like, I don't even know the gauge of this stuff, but you can look at it like this stuff is nothing. So if you know, here, this is like welding sheet metal. Like, look at this. That's like nothing. So a screwdriver is thicker than this stuff. But anyway, that gives you an idea of how hard this is. And if you haven't done it in a long time, you know, I'm kind of rusty. So, and it's hard to get like a bead. You just basically have to start your weld and then go until you're about to blow through. And then you can't really go too much because it builds up a lot of that flux core, you know, the flux on it. So you gotta, you know, brush it off before you weld again. So it's a fiasco, guys. And here it is. It's the Harbor Freight Classic. I probably will be upgrading because I want to get a TIG welder, even though I'm not really good at welding. But it would be nice to be able to just TIG weld and have actually good looking welds. So I'll check back in. Doesn't look great, but it'll do what I need it to do. I gotta finish welding it and stuff like that, but I ground it down pretty good so I can see, you know, any holes and what I gotta do.